Greetings, armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
Jacob Wild, too.
And welcome to a climatic episode of Tiki's Universe. That's right, folks. It is the first Tiki's Universe that we are recording for the new channel, Tiki Club 32, once this eventually gets uploaded to that new channel. But alas, folks, we have reached the end of our journey, or the end of the 10-episode arc of Samurai Jack Season 5. Tragedy, drama, action, and more than a few sweet, sweet victories on both sides of the equation. Let's break it all down. What do you guys think about this one?
I thought it was a great ending. I loved it so much.
I agree. Hold on, Jacob. I agree that it was a fantastic ending. The last 5 minutes or so of this episode, brilliant. Mm-hmm. I got some reservations about some of the other stuff in it, though. We'll get through it. We'll talk about it. Jacob?
I too believe it did have a satisfying ending to the story very well.
Okay, so of course the episode starts off with the big cliffhanger last week. God damn that that beautiful tapestry painting of Ashi and Aku towering over Jack, and then we kind of cut through a whole bunch of different cameos. Dragon, do you want to take the time right now to kind of just list off the cameos?
Yes, okay, exactly. I'll list them off and give a very, very Cliff Notes explanation in case anyone's lost. So again, basically, the opening. I love the opening. What's great about the opening is that it's such a great build without directly following where Jack is right now. Like we're building to where Jack is, where it's we kind of get a little reunion, little very kind of fan servicey, but in a good way, reunion of like all of our very notable, basically kind of the best of Samurai Jack episodes. So with a lot of these guys, of course, the Scotsman, the whole clan of the Scotsman's daughters and the Celtic Ghost Scotsman. We have the Ravers, which is the image we're working with right now. Kind of the Ravers. Basically, Aku is broadcasting his victory over Samurai Jack across televisions all over the world, all over the planet, which of course spans to all of the Samurai Jack favorites. So again, the Scotsmen, the Ravers, the Tesseraquins, which I really watched their episode, really moving. They were basically they kind of struck a bargain with Aku, who betrayed them, and then Jack was a really pleasant episode with those two guys. And they, Jack trusted them, they let him down, then they kind of won him back. It was really nice. Then you had the Woolies, of course, who we met earlier in the season. We have the Jumping Tribe, which is personally one of my favorites. It's one of my absolute favorite episodes of Samurai Jack. I lost it when I saw them again. Yes, I love the jumping guys. Then we had the Blind Archers, who are now cured. Yes, jump good indeed. Now, of course, we had Rothschild. Now, Tiki, this one's the most important one because Rothschild was in the very first of the kind of the first three-parter pilot for Samurai Jack.
The dog?
Yes, that's the Rob Paulson dog.
Yeah, Rothschild he's the British Rob Paulson dog.
Yes.
I thought it was Tom Kenny doing the voice.
No, that's Rob Paulson ever since the beginning. Just this very
it sounds kind of Tom Kenny-esque. But I believe you.
Aside from the street kids who named Jack, for like they call him, "Hey Jack," yo Jack, and that's where he got the name Samurai Jack. And aside from those guys, the Rothschild they met inside a bar. Like, oh, we really need a hero. Oh, there's this nice chap. Let's invite him in. Tell him our plight against Aku. And that's like the snake eating its tail thing of, oh my god, we're going all the way back to the beginning. How nice.
right.
Then we have the essentially the Andromeda robots. Those are kind of the cool, like the Mustachio robot and company.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, that's essentially it. Later on we get Mondo Bot, which connects to the Andromeda robot. Okay. So the point is that's like a little reunion of like some of the best of kind of playlists for Samurai Jack. They're all watching Aku broadcast his victory. Luckily, everyone has a TV in 50 years.
I know, right?
Even the Jumping Tribe, which I'm impressed by, because those guys really kind of live in the woods and stuff. Which seriously, Tiki, if you can watch only one episode of Samurai Jack, I personally would recommend the Jumping Tribe. Personally, gotcha. That to me is one of the perfect Samurai Jack episodes. Anyway, so let's see. Then we have the opening play, which I guess we'll get to once. Just something notable to say about is, of course, we have the wonderful Mako. They actually use him in this episode, which I think is very fitting. Bring this
back. Of course, this is I didn't watch much of this series growing up, but I still this intro is just burned into my memory. You know what I mean? It's so iconic.
Now, two things I want to note.
When I first saw the fact that they used this, I was like, oh, they're using
I know. That was
That's
basically my
amazing.
reaction too. Yeah.
Exactly. I was absolutely. I'm with you guys. I was like, oh my god, yes! Because not only here's why. Two big things is one, it's like this great meta use of it. Like, oh my, we've had this thing for it's like the ultimate kind of thing. Like we always had this cool opening, and now it's story relevant. In the very last episode, like Aku's actually had this thing. He's cataloged this thing. And he's made it.
Right.
This little slideshow of his battles with Sarah. That's why he narrated over it. And secondly, it fits into this idea that for almost all the episodes this season, we've had like a little throwback to the beginning, which not only all the cameo fest with all of our little callbacks to characters, but also this the ultimate callback to the old show, quite literally. So it's like the ultimate little payoff for all those little throwbacks to Samurai Jack this season.
Yeah.
Okay,
really,
we go.
Really good.
Those will something like this. I'll start us off. Of course, we have the classic. I'm no Mako. I'm going to give it a shot here. Long ago, in a distant land, I, Aku, the shape-shifting master of darkness, unleashed an unspeakable evil. But a foolish samurai warrior wielding a magic sword stepped forth to oppose me.
Before the final blow was struck, I tore open a portal in time and flung him into the future, where my evil is law. Now the fool seeks to return to the past and undo the future that is Aku.
And Tiki, what does modern
Not.
say?
What?
Never mind. He says not.
Okay.
It was really nice just to have Tiki's. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, Tiki,
dear.
not.
Oh dear.
You know, he says it kind of like one of those, like, you know, like, yeah, I like that. Not.
Oh yeah, just there's an excellent use of the opening. Again, we can go through all those. Let's not. So this to me is brilliant. This is kind of one of those Sticky this reference board, kind of like one of those Mega Mind sort of things, where it's like now the villain has the hero just where he wants him, and he can't decide.
Oh my god, this is brilliant.
I love the logic of this. The way it always goes, as Aku's pointed out before, you know, he takes a swing at me, I fly away. So next time, samurai, and then rinse and repeat. It goes like, and this time he actually has Jack where he wants him, and he can kill him. He's just like, oh, he has no idea. I never thought I'd get this far.
This as classy as possible.
It's almost like what would happen if Wile E. Coyote caught the Roadrunner.
Exactly.
How do I kill him? Do I saute him? Do I fillet him? What? So, you know, again, like Aku's making his hands up to weapons. Is it too much? Is it a little less, maybe? I just thought that would be the best payoff, where he just says, he puts his hands to his horns and everything, saying, madness!
He was worried about so long that he basically the only reason Aku died is because he couldn't decide how to
Pretty
kill
much,
Jack.
right? Like he couldn't. Like the show would have been over right then and there if he's like, "Bye bye, samurai. You are going to die now. I don't care how it happens."
He even could have done what he did with the soldiers later and turned them into a minion.
Right.
Exactly. Well, we did see what happened when Jack was kind of. I'm just using that as a joke. I'm saying, remember when Jack was almost taken over by Aku once?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the Aku infection.
Yeah. Anyway, let's not fall down a rabbit hole.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Jacob.
I remember that one, Dragon, the Aku infection.
Yeah.
Oh, that was just. Okay, you guys go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
So then Aku goes for the poetic kill via Ashi. You know, do it. Hey, make Daddy proud. Go on and kill the samurai.
You know, sometimes the easiest solution is the best one.
Yeah, when she just pulls out like a simple spear thing out of her arm.
And again, it's more unintentional evil on Aku. He just needs it done. He's not really thinking of, this would really screw with the samurai's head. Like, he's killed by his own love.
Oh God.
Who looks like me?
He's like, I see no repercussions in this whatsoever.
This whole time when Jack's making his pleas to Usher, which we'll hit more upon later on, this whole time I was like, wondering how the heck is Jack? It's like the ultimate '60s Batman Death Trap. How the heck is he gonna get out of this? And thankfully, the cavalry shows up. Now, speaking
Oh,
of the
yeah.
cavalry, of course.
Oh my God! What an applause moment this is right freaking here.
Yeah, and just to paint the picture, what else is going on in this scene? Like this is like the big payoff. Like what can make all of this even better? Scotsman playing the bagpipe, which I gotta tell you, it's
Scotsman playing a bagpipe, leading an army of his daughters, riding fucking reindeers, man.
Oh yeah, but
It's like Batman riding a reindeer. It's so awesome.
are they stags? I think they might be stags.
They might
Yeah,
be
technically,
stags.
they're stags.
All right, fair enough. Still awesome.
I'm
Still
saying because
awesome.
they get to impale a few Akus, and I think stags are the only ones able to do that. Anyway, sorry.
Right.
The point is, I mean, this is like kind of like, how can this get any better? Then we get this. So I'm saying before that, we still had a little the build of all this. So we get the Ravers are on the giant birds Ashu's befriending, firing laser guns. We get Rothschild and his pups, in like the grabby pods, from looking like they're from Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, it's really cool.
I actually just had a thought about Rothschild. I mean, like, that means he'd be alive for 50 years. I mean, he'd be alive for the past 50 years. That means he'd be almost, in dog years, almost 300 years old.
God.
Oh yeah. Well, he's a space dog, so I'm sure it's all natural on this planet.
Right.
Anyway, so of course we have like the.
Well, Troja. I know, it's just a random thought. It's just a
Right.
random
Yeah, I
thought
think you're
had.
absolutely right. Though it would be really old, though. I mean, it's just the fact we give him a beard and everything. Like, just give everyone a white beard. That just makes him instantly older, and it works for my taste. Then we have the Sarah Quinns with tridents. The archers shooting Aku's eyes and everything, and of course they're riding woolies, freaking woolies.
Yeah.
It's
I'm gonna address the elephant in the room here. Dragon, I totally understand. Like, since I am not really familiar with these characters all that much, except for like the things we've seen in the past season. I gotta say, man, I think it was a blown opportunity to make this. I wanted this battle to be less personal or more personal than it was, because as far as I'm concerned, they kind of shat the bed a little.
yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of coming down like the opposite of this with you. So just hear me out. Just hear out my opinion, and then you'll get a chance
Go.
to defend it. I really think it's like we barely see Jack fighting Aku this episode at all. Nothing. Like, he's fighting Ashi the whole time. He's never fighting Aku until the very end when Aku's like defenseless. And so it's like, I understand like what they're like. I understand the whole season was building up, like, like how Jack's influenced all these people. That's fine. And the Scotsman coming in, I totally like. Obviously, obviously we need the reunion. You know what I mean? So Scotsman, like, basically, I really think it was a missed opportunity for me personally. I really wish that the final battle would have been like everyone. Like, you can still cut to all the people, right? Like, you can still cut to all the people watching from the TVs, but just have Jack and the Scotsman versus Aku. I think that would have been the way to go. I think that would have been a lot more satisfying. I'm always one, like, when it comes to stories and stuff, I'm always one for a smaller, more intimate, more personal story as opposed to something bigger and more epic. And I think they went the big and epic route when they could have gone the more personal route. That's just me personally. It just felt like too much going on. It just, like, there's like, it was hard to even keep track of it all. I was like, I don't know. And like, okay, like, this scene with the Scotsman is absolutely fantastic. We'll talk about it as soon as, like, we break down my issues. But, I wanted to see more of the Scotsman. You know what I mean? I wanted to see, and like I said, I think the big missed opportunity with this finale that I'm still kind of like in shock that they blew is the fact that Jack never fights Aku. Like, I can't believe it. I literally, like, can't fucking believe that Jack never fights Aku in this finale until, like I said, until the very end when Aku's a sitting duck. So, Dragon, your defense, let's turn this into like a mini Disney debate.
All right, I full-heartedly 100% disagree.
Okay.
But, So let me lay this out a little here. So essentially, Tiki, look, I understand. I partially understand where you're coming from, this, but here's what I'm going to throw at you: is that I've been calling since the beginning. Of course, the big battle is going to be Jack in the past with Aku, which we'll hit upon a little later on. But my point is, like, that's why we don't need a future battle. We saw what happens when Jack was trying to defeat Aku in the future last episode. It doesn't work out for him. And I like that the battle really is between Ashi and Aku in the future, because that's, again, that connects to the really great thing about this cavalry fighting. This cavalry going up against Aku, because this is like the ultimate payoff for the series. Like, all the people that Jack has, risked his life for, and he's always put these people before himself. And this is the ultimate payoff. They all see their buddy Jack. He's in trouble. And they're kind of paying tribute to their friends. Like the influence. I know you mentioned this, but right, but it's the influence that Jack has shown on these people. It's like, to me, it was so heartwarming. It was almost shedding the tears. Like, oh my god, it's a beautiful payoff to all the nice things Jack's done to him all the years. They're helping him out, and again, once he kind of reaches Ashi, which again is like Jack continuing to reach people, that's what leads to that allows Jack his opportunity to really defeat Aku in the end.
As I said, Dragon, I totally understand where you're coming from a thematic level, right? I absolutely get it. Like I said, my problem is that there's just too much. It's just like, it's hard to keep, like, it's like I feel like I need a fucking Wikipedia page open when I'm watching this.
Well, again, I think even the effect of without knowing every character, I think you know half the characters and the things they appeared during this season. The Woolies, the Archers, there's the Woolies, the Archers, the Scotsmen. I'm saying you at least know like a few familiar faces.
That's what I'm saying. Like I said, like, do you at least agree?
And the Ravers.
Okay, do you at least agree that I wish there would have been more to the Scotsmen? I wish the Scotsmen had more to do.
Gee, I'm going to agree with you only because there's never enough of the Scotsmen, because the Scotsmen just fantastic.
Jacob?
Yeah, the only thing I didn't really care for with the Scotsman was like the scene where he introduced all of his daughters. I thought that was kind of, the payoff, the whole like, not your time.
I think that's very in character with him.
Like naming all like 40 of his daughters, I thought that was a bit gratuitous. But I will admit, as I was trying to say, I admit the payoff, like not their type is. I thought that was definitely worth the setup.
Okay, Dragon, I believe your favorite joke is coming up here. So why don't you relay it to us with the Scotsman?
Right. But real quick, I just want to mention with the army stuff. There's a really awesome callback to Birth of Evil, where Aku makes a whole bunch of mini versions of himself fighting everyone, which is really neat. I love the brutality, even without any bloodshed. It's just like, oh my god, people like robots are getting impaled, and then like everyone's getting scratched. Like the Aku guys are being impaled by stag horns. That's pretty impressive. But right, so the Scotsman reunion with Jack. I'm waiting for these two guys.
It's the best scene of the episode. I really do.
It is great, and again, this is like kind of the ultimate callback to the series. There's like one of the most popular character dynamics, of course, it's Scotsman.
I was just agreeing with you guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course, is the Scotsman and Jack, and we've been waiting for these two to interact. And like this whole season, with the after Jack has gotten with Ashi, I've been waiting for the Scotsman that for episodes 8 and 9, I've been calling.
The joke like writes itself, right?
Yes, I've been calling for since 8 and 9. Like, okay, the Scotsman's going to somehow help them, lead them to Aku somehow, and then of course, Jack has Ashi by his side, and the Scotsman's going to inquire about Ashi, which would lead to a fine exchange. And based on all the daughters the Scotsman have, basically we kind of predicted a Pee Wee Big Holiday gag where you got to marry all 4 of the daughters. Where essentially it's just this hysterical thing of the Scotsman just having so much respect and admiration for Jack. After again, that to me is so nice. Is that not only is he introduced all his daughters, which is pretty funny. Oh, God knows how many. There's Flora's one of them, and the rest Flora and just infinite others. I don't know.
I wonder if anybody has like a whole list of the names he mentioned.
Oh, I'm sure
they do. It's just that somewhere. So then, anyway, so then it's just this wonderful moment where this guy says, "Oh, take your pick, laddie. Take my pick of any of your daughters. I'd be proud to for you to have." I'm just like, oh, it's so nice. Like he just has so much respect for Jay. He's offering one of his lovely daughters. Yeah, I love again. Scotsman always has the most highest opinion of the women in his life, which is it's such an enduring character. We're hitting all the sweet spots with the Scotsman, and not only that, we have that great little. It's like just Jack being kind of caught off guard by the Scotsman, as he always is, because not only does the reason the bagpipes even cool with the Scotsman is that this one you probably, I don't know, it's been a while since you've seen Scotsman. I don't know if you remember. The thing that really got him off is that the Scotsman was playing this bagpipe annoyingly to the Samurai Jack, and that's how they first met. That's why that bagpipe has so much importance coming back.
Sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, oh my God, that's what kind of bond them together. Like they were, it's like the 48 hours rule. They hate each other and they love each other. But yeah, anyway, so Jack saying, "Wait, you're dead?" And he says, a wee bit. And of course, the call. My favorite callbacks is the whole. It's thanks to Celtic magic. It's like that Lucky Charms, like,
Right.
it's thanks to Celtic magic.
They're after me, Celtic magic.
Anyways, and then of course, like the old and painful, just again the Scotsman in the classic, the Scots probably about to rail into Jack, like, "What, are you too good for my daughters?" And then Jack, so wonderfully and respectfully says, "Oh no,
like I said,
I've kind of met someone."
It's just not. I don't think she's your type.
Just looking at the monster that his daughters are fighting, I don't think she's really your type, laddie.
I just love how it's like he doesn't even question the fact that like his daughters are fighting this thing. It's just like, yeah, she's not for you.
See, here's what I'll contend with on the Scotsman. You got to bear in mind we always want more Scotsman, but I will say one thing. One thing that did bug me in the episode is that he never said goodbye to the Scotsman. That's what bugged me.
Yeah, I totally agree.
That's the thing.
We'll get into that more when we get into like the ultimate resolution, because let's just say I really like the ultimate resolution. I think it's a natural ending point for the Jack versus Aku arc. I just wish it wasn't so rushed.
But again,
I think they rushed to getting there.
But on the whole, moving on, just on the whole,
Okay.
again, I will defend the fan service saying, in context, it makes all sense, and even out of context, I think this is the idea.
Dragon, let me ask you this, because this is my thing. Like, I think the fan service is as cool as it was for the fans. Like, again, I think it ate up screen time that would have been better served to have a more impactful, like, goodbye between Jack and the Scotsman, and we'll get into it, but to have, I think. Okay, let's just transition into Ashi. Let's just transition into Ashi because we're trying to get into that territory. Like, just what I was gonna say is, like, I think, like, we'll kind of talk our way back here, but I think once Ashi realizes that she has Aku's powers, it's just like, oh, okay, we're going to the finale now. Bye, guys. It's super rushed. Like that's like I think out, like, even outside of the fan service stuff, I think that's the worst element of the finale, which is a shame because it's a plot point that they definitely should have hit, and I think it was like I said, I think it's the proper resolution to Aku's whole, the Jack versus Aku arc is, like, they went back, like he went back to the past, but like I said, the issue is that it just happens out of nowhere.
Here's the weird thing, T. It's kind of the thing you gotta be honest. As much as I want Jack to say goodbye to Scott, I realize you can't have that because the immediacy, which makes all sense in the world, the immediacy realize, oh my God, we can get out of here, which Jack's been trying to do for over 50 years now. He has to take that opportunity. As much as I want him to say goodbye to Scotsman, it makes all sense in the world. The instant they realize that, and that adds like the immediacy.
But what I'm saying, I'm not really saying so much like Jack making the decision to do it, because I mean Jack doesn't even like he doesn't even realize what's going on at first. Like I'm saying like Ashi's just like, I have Aku's powers. Let's go back to the past. Like, I don't know. I would have liked to see Ashi maybe fight Aku a little bit more and maybe get more acquainted with the powers. I just think it's kind of cheap that she realizes she has the powers and then she knows exactly how to use them.
Well, I don't know. I think it's kind of the instinctual thing of like, just again, it's like kind of discovering them on the fly. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, just like we're gonna have to agree to disagree on it. I don't know. It's just I just think the immediacy.
But that's fine.
Anyway, so just getting mainly the main heart of the Jack Ashi thing.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's kind of talk backwards and work our way back up to that moment.
So we have, first of all, the Jack, the Ashi being swallowed up by Aku. I think visually is done beautifully. It's just this idea of like, first of all, I love how it's edited because initially, like way back in the beginning, like during the scene you're seeing before, it is like way early in the episode, we just like Jack's like talking to Ashi, and we're just focusing on that weird expressionless face, or we just intercut like Ashi like drowning in the inside, like, oh Jack, and then it's so eerie. And then as like Jack's kind of reluctantly fighting, Ashi just getting more and more monstrous. He's pushing inside, and he's like on the inside of it. It's all creepy. Again, visually, it's this great contrast with the show has always played with of Jack being the white and then Aku being the black. They've always played with that contrast. The ultimate persona, like the ultimate expression of that contrast of, like, literally being kind of the white inside all this black evil nothingness.
Right.
It's scary, it's tense on the inside of there, and you're just actually being swallowed up into the darkness that
Uh-oh.
so character thematically appropriately is that.
Dragon, just so you know, Jacob's internet just crapped out, so I don't know what he wants us to do about that, but I mean, just keep going, keep going.
Okay, so
Crap.
anyway, so Ashi, my point is, what's so great about Ashi being swallowed into the darkness visually with this is that it connects thematically to the fact that she swallowed into the darkness that Jack saved her from in the first. That she saved Jack from. Remember, she saved Jack from being swallowed up in his own darkness, and now Jack's doing the same for her, rescuing her from being swallowed up in Aku's darkness, which I think is kind of a beautiful statement on kind of what they've done for each other's characters, visually expressed.
Okay.
And also, what's kind of cool is that this is Aku in his original form. In the Birth of Evil thing, Tika, we've kind of hinted at here and there. Basically, just Aku before he was the way we see him now. He was just a big blob in space. So he is like this big blobish figure, just kind of as he kind of is initially. So it's like pure evil. She's being swallowed up in.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're absolutely right. It's a very good kind of visual metaphor, and I really, really do like the like you said, the blank, vacant face, and then like the terror within.
Yes.
Okay, it doesn't look like Jacob's going to be able to get back on, so I'm just going to ask him if he wants to type up like a final statement about the season.
All right. Well, I guess powering on through then.
Oh wait, no, it's back. Yeah, powering on through. We'll just see what happens.
So okay. Anyway, so Ashi. So in the end, look. I guess what? Okay.
Sorry, brief technical error on my end.
It's all good. We're just talking through the Jack and Ashi stuff.
Okay.
All right, Dragon.
Anyway, so of course, in the end, after Jack proclaims his love for Ashi, which is really nice. And now Ashi is she controls her darkness in the end, which again, it's like she's owning, visualize with her head exposed from all of the black stuff, which of course how we've been introduced to Ashi all throughout the things. That it's her owning her pain. It's her owning that pain she's endured for all of her life, but now she's in control of a power, of the power that even the priestess was just trying to mimic. That she actually is. She has Aku's power, but she's in control, and she uses that to defeat the future Aku. Against the ultimate embodiment of Jack's influence on inspiring people to go against Aku, literally, like someone who was born of the future of Aku, defeating Aku. That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, I hear you. Like I said, I totally like.
Aku's daughter, no.
Yeah, I think it's a good resolution. Like I said, I just I think it kind of comes a bit out of nowhere. Jacob, I'm so sorry. Go ahead, Jacob.
I was like saying like you dare stand up, you dare attack against your father. Like I'm not. You're not my father. Yes, I am. Like
yes, I am.
I love how at the end of the day, Aku was just like a prick dad.
or as I like to call it, or as I like to say, that's my freaking father.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Dragon. Jacob, I'm glad you mentioned that because it actually does really. Of course, I have issues. That's my freaking father.
But just getting us to the, I'm sorry. Jake.
No, go ahead, Dragon.
Getting us to the time travel bit here, I just want to mention, just real quick, just to harken back to it, just with the immediately what she discovers. Oh my God, I have powers. I can do this and do that, and then of course realizes, wait, all the powers I have. Just real. I guess she would know of Aku's powers as being raised like a daughter of Aku. I don't think it's much of a stretch. She just kind of know what some of the powers.
Right, but how does she know how to use them though? That's my issue.
Well, again, I mean, it's probably be like the lore of, oh yeah, then he just opened his mouth screeching to screech the time portal. I mean, again, it's like the Aku being boastful of himself. Again, I give it all the dramatic.
All right, as you're explaining it more, I'm kind of buying it more, Dragon. Okay.
The point is, I like that little instinctual, like, again, as much as, I'm with it, I would love the goodbye, but just like that immediate, oh my God, we gotta get out of here right now. The thing Jackson never do, we can do it now.
I mean, it could be like well, to go on with the Dragon said about that, it could be like instinctual magic knowledge. Like she's just like once Aku gave her powers, she like somehow instantly like he passed on his knowledge in a way to her.
Yeah, that can make sense. I could buy
Yeah,
that.
I could actually see that. I could buy that.
Anyway, so then of course we get the moment of
I kind of had an issue with that too, but I mean, I kind of had an issue with the whole swiftness of that too. But honestly, I don't think it's something that really needs to be explained. Like she has his powers because he gave them to her,
Mhm.
then
and
the
she
big.
used them. And she... Okay, you go ahead. Sorry, I was done.
I was just gonna say the biggest effect of that is that of all that stuff is that it's it's taken the audience off guard too. Like maybe that we're expecting like a goodbye and everything, but like oh, we're just like completely taken off. Basically, we have Aku's reaction, which looks a little like.
Okay, good. Sorry, give me a second. Kind of delayed.
Anyways,
we go.
yeah, it's like we have Aku's realization as
Oh,
he's
no.
having it of like
No.
just that great. Oh no! A lot of seriousness on
didn't-
Aku.
Like, I did not think this through.
Again, it's just like that immediate, like, oh no! It's like not all the ceremony, not like the enjoying being evil, not like out of his malaise. Aku is like the Aku, like very seriously.
Right,
At the end of my rope, it's like my worst fear. Like he's going back in time. Oh no, I'm gone. I'm Biff Tannen from that deleted scene in Back to the Future 2. I'm gone.
Oh god.
So,
I guess his reaction here is love stinks.
and then we get that great moment of Jack going through the black and white time
yes.
world. Just that little moment, and he's with not only with Ashi, just that moment of Jack realizing, I'm in the pool. No arm reaching me.
Greg,
to pull me out.
I think what you're trying to get with the audience reaction is a little bit. I think it's a little bit of both. Like we're supposed to be like on Aku, like oh no, but I also think the audience reaction is Jack. You know, like oh my god, this is actually happening.
Yes.
Like the theme song is finally coming true. He's going back.
Yes. It's such a sense of like you feel so like a fist pumping moment for Jack. Yes, he's going back.
He's like going back to the past.
He's not getting
Samurai
back
Jack.
like Tiger Philanthropist, but he's going back.
Right. So then we have the big fight, and I've been calling this from the beginning, and I've always for me I was so looking forward to not having as much of a fight in the future, but having the big fight in the past because that's what the whole thing's been building to the whole series. So we get Jack versus Aku, which the way it's executed is far better than I could ever imagine. Just the bit of like I literally. Not only myself, I just did it myself to see what the time was. So 12 seconds after Jack is sent into the future, he and Ashi return, and then Aku says,
You're back already.
exactly. And then we have the big rematch. And
Which, as I pointed out before, are technically the final words he ever says in the entire
Which,
series.
Yes.
as I said, Jacob, I think that's so appropriate for Aku and the whole arc of this Jack versus Aku story.
And again, I love when they pull this trick. I love when they reanimate the scenes exactly frame for frame, and they actually use the Mako dialogue for because they used Mako's dialogue before. He says you're back already. Everything before that's the Mako dialogue.
Sure.
Just great.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it was pretty cool how they like actually like reanimated the entire scene
Mm-hmm.
and actually showed it. I just really thought that was a nice. Well, of course they probably had to, but I just thought it was a nice
like
touch.
really cool, like full circle of the whole series.
Exactly. Oh yeah, man!
Oh,
I
like-
definitely recommend anyone watching this. Again, watch the pile. Then this is to get like a full effect of
Right,
you get a little bit of Rothschild. You get a little bit of like everything from this episode is kind of in the 3-part pilot thing. You get all the training, you get the face off, and you get some of the the Rothschild and the future stuff. So.
Mm-hmm.
Fun experience. Anyway, so again, what's so great about this fight is that it's the build and the intensity on Jack. Because Jackie, he's missing the top part of the gi, and he's got the long hair. He's so pissed off at Aku. He's got the sword, and again, essentially in 7 to 8 strikes with the sword, Aku is no more. He wails on him. Of course, like the surprise on Aku, and then we have like the classic thing from the first episode where Aku's shape shifting left and right, but it's even more intense because like Aku. On his last legs, he's just so desperate, and essentially we get like kind of this last final blow struck to the half of head that Aku has run away as Jack strikes. And then we have like the 2 eyeballs inside the sword.
No
more! And he strikes it down. The Aku's evil, like basically in a self-destruct motion, takes the flame palace thing. And just, kaboom. And I love that Jack even got to keep his sword. I thought he was going to destroy the sword with that. No, he even got to keep the sword, man. Oh, and it's such
a samurai's
Yeah,
job
it's
is never done.
yes, it's such a glorious kind of like, oh my god, he finally did it. It took 5 seasons, but he finally did it.
All right.
Yeah.
Very sad.
And of course, like, in theory, they could have ended it there, but not without being really emotional.
Oh, God damn it. Do we have to
Yes.
talk about this? Can we just pretend that
Unfortunately,
it ends happily?
unfortunately, so let's see, let's plant the seed of destruction.
I
here.
knew let's just say I've never been more sad to be right.
Right. I mean, I think we all kind of called this, but it was like, no.
I remember we talked about the possibility of the paradox thing
Right.
catching up. And here's the thing. Let me paint a picture for folks.
I'm terribly sorry for that screeching going on in the background, by the way, guys. There's not much I can do about that.
So let me paint a picture for like I don't know if everyone's expecting this in the audience. At least the people who maybe us think that the possibility occurred to us of the whole paradox thing catching up with Ashi, where it's through my head during this thing. It's that I'm thinking, okay, Ashi, she felt something when Aku got destroyed. She felt even a little weakened from Aku, which kind of paints like a little seed of doom of like, oh boy, what's going to happen to Ashi? But then again, it doesn't affect her instantly, which we were expecting. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe because she's like coded in Aku, it's like a weird loophole like Jack has. Jack has a loophole because he was plucked from time. He has all his memories of the future, which that's the logic I'm going with. It makes sense to me. I think it adds like a fuller picture there, which we'll get to.
Okay.
The point is, I like to think, okay, Jack has a loophole. Maybe Ashi, I was thinking maybe Ashi has a loophole because she's coding the Aku stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sure.
and then that was the thoughts that were racing through her. Then we're like, oh, then the preparations began. We're like, what I loved is like they actually got all the people who trained Jack to attend his
all the
wedding.
mentors,
That was
the tribal warriors, the monks, the archers, like all great little callbacks to the first
and
episode.
Robin Hood.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then,
Everybody's attacking
Jack's parent.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, I keep
You guys are
interrupting.
stepping over each other, seriously. You have to... I don't know. It's kind of bothering me. Go ahead.
Then we have, Jack's parents are looking very pridefully as they prepare Jack and Ashi for the wedding. And so it's great to see Jack's parents all happy go. Because usually they're all like, "Oh God, you failed! You failed your purpose!" It's always gloom and doom with the parents. Now it's like, it's
And Jack just has like the cheekiest smile on his face.
Yeah.
It's
Such
One
a
thing
happy
I'm-
occasion.
What I'm wondering though is like the kingdom, like last time we saw the kingdom with Aku, it was like it was completely in ruins, but now it seems completely fine. It makes me wonder actually how much time in fact did pass, like in between the fact where he killed Aku and then the wedding takes place.
I mean, it
That's
seems
fair.
like Ashi is like completely a part of that society as well. You know what I mean? It seems like Ashi is like, everyone's like welcomed her and whatnot. You know what I
I
mean?
guess like a few months. It takes time
Yeah.
to prepare a wedding.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna address something with you guys here. This is like one of the biggest criticisms I've heard about this episode is like people call it a plot hole that Ashi didn't disappear right away, and I'm gonna call bullshit on that. I really am, because
There's a lot of theories of time travel.
yeah, and I don't even care about the logic of it. It's like this is kind of a John Lasseter like we don't care.
Yeah, it's sort of that eighth. It's like it's the last 3 minutes. We did our job. We don't care.
Right, because I just think from a literary point of view, from a writing point of view, just seeing Jack completely happy, like thinking that Jack is going to get that happy ending, and guys, like
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how happy I was watching this.
Yeah.
And then the moment when Ashi falls, it's like the rug getting pulled out from under us. It's like everyone's experienced that moment in our life at least once where everything's going fine and then something horrific happens, and in that
Nightmare moment.
your life has changed forever in that moment.
Exactly.
And I just think from a literary point of view, from a writing point of view, this is how they should have done it. I think it would have been a huge mistake if Ashi would have disappeared right after Aku. I don't think it would have had nearly the dramatic impact that this had.
Again,
So I'm kind of sick of this complaint. I don't know if you guys have seen people complaining about this, but I certainly have. And I just think that complaint is completely unfounded. It's like, yeah, they're looking into the minutia of the plot without understanding the the greater context of the dramatic storytelling. You know what I mean?
again, I think they covered their bases wonderfully with the whole, the Jack loophole. He doesn't age after 50 years because maybe the time, because he's been plucked from the with that, I think they covered themselves in any like time travel inconsistencies. Because again, time travel, if you really look at it with the fine under a microscope, it can be really confusing. I think again, like logically, yeah, probably she should disappear. But again, the fact that she's covering Aku and Jax, it's up in the air on the specifics of it. So I think they strategically covered their bases with that. But you're absolutely right, T. It throws the audience this clue, like you're under the assumption that okay, happy ending's coming.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew something was gonna happen to her. I was like, I totally knew that she was probably gonna disappear eventually. Like during, like, oh, there's gonna be like some kind of happy moment that she's gonna disappear. But like, I didn't want to be right. Like, I didn't want to be right though.
I was on the edge of my seat, just waiting for him to get in there. Come on, get down there, get down there.
I know, right?
'Cause I knew the possibility of like, okay, come on, don't turn sad, don't turn sad. I was like open against. Like I knew there was a possibility, but I was like still at the same time like, no, she would have disappeared instantly. She's fine. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
I guess don't get me wrong. I do appreciate the ending. It's like it probably did need to happen, but I mean, it's really impressive that they're able to evoke such a sadness from its audience and in such a profound
Like
way.
I
And
said,
just like
I don't think that's sad. I'm sorry, Jacob. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Like that they would evoke such profound emotions from its audience and just getting to know this character over 10 episodes.
And like I said, I truly don't think that moment would have been nearly as impactful if Ashu would have just like vanished right away. It's seeing Jack happy, and it's seeing the parents happy, and it's getting that happy ending and having it yanked away from us. That's what
definitely made it more potent. I think you're right on it. I think it still would have been effective, but this way makes it all just perfectly sad.
And so for that reason, like I am definitely like, we'll agree to disagree about the final battle and everything, but I am very much disagreeing with the critics of this. Like I said, it's like the critics are looking at the minutia of the plot over the grand scale of the dramatic storytelling.
Yeah. So. And what's two things about this. So again, just of course, just the way it's executed when she falls.
Oh God, it's so.
The
this might be one of the saddest moments I've ever seen in any cartoon. It really might be.
I will agree with you there. It's just the Back to the Future of it all, just like the disappearing hand, and the clothes faded. But as you're seeing right now, before he's clutching the wedding dress. Oh my God, she was such a beautiful bride. Just clutching the wedding dress, and he's
just the realistic way in which she falls. It reminds me of Up. It reminds me of Married Life.
I would agree with you. It's kind of it's Tartakovsky's Up equivalent. I would
right. Like that moment in Married Life when she falls when she's going up the hill. It's that moment. It
is. And it's just like it's also in the moment. It's like this is like kind of Aku's last laugh. It's like the tragic punchline to Jack.
Right.
To all of it's like it's the ultimate punchline to the series where all of and we kind of knew it's been speculated on the grand scheme like if Jack goes back, of course the whole future was undone, and of course it occurs to you in the moment if it hadn't occurred to you already that oh my God, all the hard work and the connections are ultimately undone to defeat Aku, which means any friends, any family, any loved ones in this case all gone. The price of victory. It's like the hero's ultimate sacrifice to save against the needs of himself, putting the needs of everyone else before the needs of himself, which it's so painful. And that we've never seen Jack this bereft and this like just heartbroken. We've seen him like really on the void of like kind of endings. We've never seen him just like this, like truly broken.
Right.
So, now we have.
Of course, with every good tragedy, there has to be some semblance of hope, and my God, I think this last scene is so fucking beautiful.
This is like the most bittersweet ending in any series ever. It's the most bittersweet yet beautiful ending. It's like
perfect. Like, okay, I know you said that Tartakovsky said that that people can go forward. No, please don't. No, it has to be it. This is it.
Tiki, it's a joke that he's had. He's saying, "Well, look, this is my ending. If you guys want to do like essentially fanfic, essentially like do like if anyone wanted to pick this up and say, okay, if she didn't die, because again, that would completely undercut the thing. If she didn't disappear, then go forward, do everyone. But this is the official ending.
They cannot do a season 6.
Exactly. This is like him answering
a season 6 after this.
Yeah, this is him answering like these season 6 kind of what ifs. It's like without giving it away before this episode came out of like, oh well, you can go an alternate way with it.
Oh,
but yeah, well, Tiki, something I noticed in the rewatch, I want to point out real quick. We mirror two things in this opening as we get to this ultimate shot here. Is that Jack's he's riding a horse and he's like in a real foggy environment, which mirrors the opening shot from the Aku, like the long ago in a distant land opening where Jack's on a horseback.
Right.
And it's also in the distance, he looks like that spirit of the warrior on the horse. Remember the one that keeps telling him to end his life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, I look this scene really unfolds beautifully on a rewatch, where it's he goes to the same. This is the same tree that he showed Ashi earlier in the season. This is the one that this was the symbol, the cherry blossom tree. This is the symbol of him showing.
Oh, sorry, I jumped in too quick.
Listen, he showed Ashi, he showed her the truth of Aku, that he doesn't preserve all the natural world is not his. He's perverted and destroyed the natural world. This is like all the stuff that, like a dwindling symbol of what he's left over.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I will admit I didn't actually realize that was the same tree, but now that you guys point that out, I actually do see that now, and that makes this ending even more amazing to me.
Yeah. And then we have just
but let's not forget the other little symbol here.
Yes,
the ladybug.
Oh my god!
Exactly, the most perfect, bittersweet symbol of everything. Which, by the way, let's go over our reactions a little here. I think Tegan and I are agreeing. We quietly wept.
I mean, at this point, I was just I was still so devastated by Ashi that what I love about this moment is that it puts us like in the mindset of Jack, right? Where it's like you're still so devastated, but then when you see Jack smile, you know that even though he came through a tragedy, everything's going to be okay. He's going to get through this.
And also the ladybug shows that Ashi is still with him in spirit, and and this perfect future wouldn't be possible without her to begin with.
Of course. Now, I'm not going to go into I've heard some theories that the ladybug is a reincarnated Ashi. No, it's just a symbol for Ashi.
Yes, it's just this. It's again, I was like had the weeps words, like not the tears aren't coming out. Just you're making the crying sounds. It's so sad and pathetic, but it was so true.
Trust me, I was in tears too the first time I watched this.
I just vividly remember messaging Jacob immediately after watching this. I was like, they couldn't give us a happy ending, could they?
Essentially, I had the McConaughey thing. Remember McConaughey from Interstellar, where he's just reacting to all the messages from his son? That's essentially what I had watching. Oh God, I was
I just want to pull a screen cap of that up.
I was so sad yet so happy at the sort of
right.
So the tears and the weeping sounds of happiness. That's what I get. So essentially, again, just this bittersweet, sad, beautiful end that just that he and Ashi valued beauty in the world, and her sacrifice protected it. And it's harkens that ladybug harkens back to that moment where Ashi chose to side with Jack. She saw that he wasn't evil. It was this great intersecting moment between good and evil, where it's like for a moment, initially they were on completely different sides, and then she realized in that moment, no, he values life. He didn't crush the ladybug like my priestess mother. No, he values life, which means he can't be completely evil. Which of course then going to the tree just solidified it for. Just just symbolizes. Some people have analyzed the ladybug 8 ways to Sunday. Because some people,
I know, right?
I think the two things to take away from in terms of symbolization is that one, it's that people look to the ladybug and some sort of thing that the ladybug symbolizes in some cultures or something that it's he will meet another Ashi or he'll fall in love again.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
That's personally what I like to believe. He's happy. Sure he's gone through a tragedy, but he's happy right now. He's the future is bright. Sure Ashi's gone, but the future is bright. There's no more Aku. He can live his life in his time.
He's back with his parents.
And
he can find happiness and possibly even love again.
Yeah, really nice.
And the two things I also kind of took from it personally is again just kind of tying it into the whole series with not only the Ashi thing, but just kind of also what Ashi represents with this ladybug is that ladybug is also a symbol of Jack remembering the future, because he's remembering a specific moment from the future. And not only is he remembering just Ashi in that moment, he's remembering all the friendships and adventures he had in the future, all the friendships and loved ones that he met along the way with that ladybug. And it's like this whole ending with the basically the end shot that we're on right here is where it's all the sun and everything's come out as after it was all black and it was all gray, and the ladybug was the only thing colored. Now the rest of the colors coming in, so it's basically changes on the way with the blossoms and the cherry blossoms, and Jack has saved the world from evil, and now the static character can move forward.
Really
good. God, this is
okay.
Beautiful.
All right, final thoughts, gentlemen. Final thoughts. I'm sorry, Jacob.
The ending specific. No, this is going to be part of my final. Okay. I'm going to make this as part of my final thought. Okay, overall, the ending of the episode probably did have a personal effect on me. I mean, it was just very few series finales make me shed a tear. This one was definitely one of them. for a show as good as this, getting a perfect ending was probably not an easy task, but they nailed it to perfection. At least the conclusion of the episode. I do agree with some of your. So I mean, I don't agree with to the extent that you do with some of the issues in the middle of the episode, but I agree to an extent, but not wholeheartedly. I personally, recognizing a lot of these characters, I did things like, oh, I get to see these characters again, yay!
Right.
But overall, I mean, like for a show as good as this one, it would be hard to find the perfect ending, and they nailed it to perfection. You could not ask for a better finale for this show or possibly any other.
Mm-hmm. Very well put. Very well put. Dragon.
Oh god, this just was just as an episode by itself, just for this season, it was great. Looking at the whole series, I thought it was so great. The only worry I honestly would have going this episode is like, well, it's probably gonna be great. Obviously, it's gonna be a great ending for the season. I just hope it's gonna be as good an ending to kind of justify for the whole series period. And again, like those callbacks in the beginning, just kind of the whole idea of like all the people Jack's helped coming back for him, and of course, just the power of that ending of that little ladybug moment. It was such the perfect bittersweet note to hit on, and basically like this and all the Marvel movies and everything, they just will down my emotional kind of it's basically I get so weepy now watching the older episodes of Samurai Jack. Is watching the others, it's like there's like all the niceties of Jack, all these great moments of like Jack learning to one of my favorite episodes, though, Jack learns to jump good. That one, that's whole, like, oh my god, it's so nice. I'm starting to get weepy a little bit.
Right.
Like the Tuscadarians, which I haven't watched in like the Tesseract like, and I haven't watched in so long, but they were so nice to him. And there was like that was a story where Jack still forgave him after they wronged him. Oh my god, it's so nice. It was just, it makes me appreciate the whole series even more. And it was just, again, Samurai Jack is one of those shows that again, I think Tarkovsky he hit. It's so uniquely him. It's so uniquely his style, and it's not connected to like a whole bunch of like. It's not one of those shows that's overly marketed. It's just the show that you either know or you don't, and it's like because Jack's just one of those perfect characters, one of those perfect kind of the embodiment of a samurai, and like all the nobility of a samurai, and just like kind of that nice guy's going to wander in the town and help out. Again, it's like the Western meets the samurai, and it's such a great concept that has really gone on so many adventures, and it's had such a beautiful ending. If you were looking at the grand scheme of the series, season 5 is going to have one above the rest of them because this one knew it was going to end and have like a running through line. Which, if you really like held up the other ones, of course, is going to be that divide. But they're all unique. They're all different. All chapters leading up to kind of this grand 10-part chapter, which is amazing. Oh god, so beautiful, so moving.
Yeah, of course, I have a slightly different perspective because I haven't watched through the whole series, but I gotta say, guys, just this season in a nutshell is fucking fantastic. Just, you know me, I fell in love with Ashi about episode 4 or 5. I never looked back. She's a spectacular, really, really incredibly well-developed character. Her arc was tragic and beautiful. The Jack, and like I said, I have a couple minor issues with the Jack and Aku stuff, but mostly it was really good. And most importantly, the character of Jack himself truly went through a remarkable transformation through the course of the season. Fantastic episode for the most part. I'll agree to disagree with the army stuff and the fan service stuff. Other than that, like, I think the ending is it's just almost too much to handle, man.
I know, it's like really hard to rewatch. Every time I rewatch it, I just can't. I debate getting through. It's like, oh god.
I know, right?
It's like, oh god.
But yeah, I just, in the end, guys, all I have to say is that I'm really, really happy that I decided to take this journey with you two gentlemen, and it's been a fantastic ride going through the season and the end of the series.
And thus ends one of the greatest cartoons ever made.
Indeed. And folks, with that, it appears that we've come to the end of our brave samurai's journey. And in the end, he finally managed to
get back to the past.
Samurai
Jack!
Jack.
Watcha!